My name is Steven Martinez. I'm 14 and 0 as a pro. Been boxing for Kenny Weldon since I was 9 years old. I think Galena Park Boxing Academy is the best program in the world. If you want to learn how to box, this program is the best.
My name is Alan Bain. I'm currently ranked number 1 in British Columbia, number 2 in Canada. I've trained at many facilities throughout Canada, and now that I am down in Houston, Texas, I'm training at the Galena Park Boxing Academy with Kenny Weldon. It is the best boxing academy that I ever trained at.
Today, from the heart of Southeast Texas at the Galena Park Boxing Academy, Neutral Corner Media presents You Can Learn to Box with world-renowned teacher and trainer Kenny Weldon. Kenny Weldon has been involved in boxing some 33 years. He fought 227 bouts as an amateur with a record of 216-11. Winning 6 Golden Glove titles, Kenny represented the United States 3 times in international competition. In 1968, Kenny turned professional. As a pro, he had a record of 57-1, boasting the Texas State Featherweight title and the North American Junior Lightweight title. As a pro, Kenny was rated in the world's top 10 for several years. Kenny was considered a protege of the late Bill Gore, who trained such fighters as Willie Pep, Joe Brown, Joey Maxium, and Bob Foster. As a trainer, Kenny fired up the Galena Park Boxing Academy and has had immeasurable success. In its 20-year history, the GPBA has produced 51 state champions, 17 national champions, 3 Pan American medalists, and 2 Olympians. Currently, Kenny's 106-pounder Eric Griffin is the world amateur champion in his weight. Kenny served as coach on several international amateur teams representing the United States and was chosen as one of the 4 coaches for the Olympic box-off. As a professional trainer, Kenny has worked the corner in 19 world title fights. Kenny's techniques have been applied in the corners of such great fighters as Wilfred Scipion, Bubba Buscemi, Termite Watkins, James Pitts, and Mike Phelps. Working for 5 years as technique and balance coach for Lou Duva, Kenny worked his magic with Evander Holyfield, Benny Pazienza, and Mike McCallum. Kenny is currently the chief trainer for the Houston Boxing Association, working such fighters as Orlando Canizales, current IBF World Bantamweight Champion, Todd Foster, 1988 Olympian, Steven Martinez, and Lou Savarese, for a combined record of 87-3. Kenny Weldon is considered by boxing authorities as the best fundamental and technique trainer, as well as the best pad man anywhere in the world today. So, let's go to the Galena Park Boxing Academy and Kenny.
Welcome once again to the Galena Park Boxing Academy in Galena Park, Texas. Today's clinic is going to be basically on rhythm and coordination exercises, how to hit the heavy bag, how to hit the double end bag, how to jump rope, and things like this that will really help you in preparing for boxing. You know, there's no way in the world that you're going to do these things naturally without getting in shape. But then again, if you know the technical side of it and how to do it, it'll help a whole lot. And as before, once again, as in our opening tape, I'd like to bring in a world-class fighter to help demonstrate what we're going to be doing here first with our rhythm exercises. Would you come on in here, Mike? Okay. What we're going to do first here is we're going to show you some rhythm and coordination exercises designed to more or less evaluate a good prospect or somebody that has natural abilities as opposed to somebody that doesn't. Also, too, it's something that you do every day in the gym to increase your flexibility. And this is a good conditioning thing also. Each of our boxers do this each day. It's included in their workout. It takes about 20 minutes in order to do the full workout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you first, or have Mike show you what we do first. And basically, these are line exercises designed to, like I say, help you with your coordination and for evaluation also. So what he's going to do first is he's going to get on one side of the line. He's going to put his hands on his hips and his chin down and lift his right foot up. And he's going to jump from one side of the line to the other down that way. And then he's going to come back on the same leg. And actually, this line is 30 foot long in reality. And he would go down there and back 3 times on his left leg before he had changed to his right leg, and go down there 3 times and back. But let's see you do it with your left leg first, Mike. He's only going to do about 10 to 15 foot. You'll note how close he stays to the line. All right, now come on back. He's staying very close to the line. He's keeping his chin down. He's landing on the ball of his left foot every time. Okay, good. Change over and do your right leg. Now this looks really easy, but it's really not. When you try it, you'll know. But come on back. There you go. Mike's had a lot of practice at this. He's been around here for a long time, and it's a thing of control, being able to keep control. It's a thing of balance and equilibrium. Okay, so Mike, what are you going to go to second? You're going to do, okay, you're going to jump across. He's going to jump back and forth across, staying as close to the line as he can. Now, he would do this normally 3 times up there and back on a 30-foot line also. So go. Get across the line. Concentrate on the line. There you go. Get across the line. There you go. Get the control. There you go. Now you gain control. That's good. Stay close. All right. There you go. Now you're talking. All right. That's real good. Now you notice he stays on the balls of his feet, and he keeps his weight forward as he's doing them. You can't be on your heels doing these at all. All right. Now next you want to do the crossovers. Now, the purpose in these crossovers, this is almost like a football drill, except for one thing. Football players do it going forward, but they don't do it going backwards. And this takes good coordination, and it takes a good rhythm and a good flow to do it. Let me see you do it. Don't forget, that would normally be 30 foot up there and 30 foot back 3 times. Get on the line, there you go, get across that line, get across that line. That wasn't very good that time. You missed the line just about all the way, but you get the idea. All right? So, now what we have found out here in watching him do these things is we've watched to see if he has coordination in it with his feet. You know, he's not, also too, we're seeing how his balance is. You can take the average person and put them on these exercises and they'll be falling all over the place. And to be able to do it 30 foot up there and back 3 times, I mean, you're going to have to be in some kind of shape to do this. This is not an easy exercise, although he makes it appear as easy. All right, what are you going to do next, Mike?
Bob and weave.
Okay, you're going to do your bob and weave. You're going to get in your stance. Okay, now you're going to, every time you come to your left foot, you're going to break down on your left leg, and every time you come to your right foot, you're going to break. And if you'll notice his head coming back and forth across. All right, now get on up there. Now he's doing that coming forward, taking his head across the line each time, and he'd do 3 times up there and 3 times back on a 30-foot line. All right, there you go. Notice his head going across the line. That means that he's transferring his weight back and forth. Go up there and back one more time, okay? Keep your hands in position to punch. There you go. Now throw a left hook every time you come down on your left leg. There you go. There you go. Then a right hand. There you go. Right there. There you go. And notice his head going back and forth across. Okay, again, this looks easy, but it's not. It's a very difficult exercise. Okay, we're going to do what we call turnarounds here. He's going to bounce 3 times. He's going to turn around and face directly down the line. And he's going to turn around the other way and face directly down the line. He's going to do this 3 times up there and back on a 30-foot line. Okay, go for it.
Feet land right where they take.
You want to let his feet land exactly where they took off. Now get in your stance, Mike, as you come down. There you go. There you go. Every 3rd bounce. There you go. There you go. He's on the 4th bounce, but that's okay. Whichever. The idea is to get down there and back. Now, what we've gone through thus far is his left leg down there and back, his right leg down there and back, his, there you go, jumping across back and forth, there you go, his crossovers, like this, down there and back, there you go, and his bob and weave, to his left leg, right leg, right leg, and his turnarounds. Okay, keep your chin down. Keep your chin down. There you go. Good. Now, all of this looks extremely easy, but it's not. I can take a person that comes in this gym, say a 15-year-old kid or a 10-year-old kid that wants to start boxing. I can put him on this line, and I can tell you which side he is better coordinated on. I can tell if he's coordinated better on his left side than on his right side. I can tell you if he's a guy that is going to be coordinated between his hands and his feet or not by keeping his hands up and making him make movements as he goes back and forth down the line. I can tell you if his equilibrium's good. I can tell you, too, how disciplined he is by making him do this for a week or two and watching just how much mental discipline he has and self-discipline he has when he don't think we're watching him. I can tell a whole lot about an individual kid by watching him go down here and back every day. But more importantly than that is the fact that our world-class fighters, boxers like Evander Holyfield, Mike McCallum, Todd Foster, Lou Savarese, Mike Phelps, people like this, all do these exercises. They do them every day. There's several repetitions of them. It's not a thing that's automatic. I mean, this is something that you have to work on every day, and I'll guarantee you it helps with your concentration. So I want you to keep that in mind. And again, this line is 30 foot long, and it's three times down there and back on each exercise. And by the time you've done that, it should take you from 20 to 23 minutes in order to do a full segment of these exercises. So at this time, let's move on to something else. I think probably what we're going to move to next is the heavy bag, and I want to show you the correct way to hit a heavy bag. I know you go to a lot of gyms and you watch these guys hitting these heavy bags and they're just banging them around and everything else. Well, I'm going to show you the correct way to hit a heavy bag, and whereas you're working the bag and the bag's not working you. So let's just go ahead and move on over to the heavy bag. Okay, here we are over by the heavy bag, and you'll note that this heavy bag is on a long enough chain that it's going to swing out about 8 foot in any direction. And that's done purposely because I'm going to try to keep the boxer inside of an 8 foot radius as he's hitting the bag. Also, too, this bag is, since it's swinging, just like a guy, if you hit it, it's going away from you. If it can move lateral, it can move just any way that an opponent could move if you're hitting the bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to give you an idea as to a system to hit the bag with in order to use all the punches in your arsenal. Okay, number one is if that bag is going away from you, you don't want to be throwing hooks at it. Or if it's coming to you, you don't want to be throwing hooks at it. What you want to throw at that bag is, if it's going away from you or coming to you, are straight punches coming back and forward, and uppercuts and coming back and forward. If you're going to throw a wide punch, you want to move so that the bag is moving this way, laterally in front of you, which you would initiate it with a wide punch followed by a combination of punches. Or you might move over and initiate with a left hook to the body followed by a combination of punches. But you don't want to throw straight punches at a heavy bag when the bag is moving lateral like this. Same as if you was fighting a fight and your opponent is moving this way. I wouldn't want to throw a left jab at him here, and I wouldn't want to throw a right cross at him as the bag's going back this way. You know, I'd want to throw either a left hook or a wide right in order to set up to throw my straight stuff at him. So therefore, when you're hitting this heavy bag, that's basically what you're doing. You're keeping the bag in front of you at all times, and you're throwing straight punches when it's coming to you or away from you, and you're throwing hooks as it's moving lateral away from you, same way as you would if you were boxing. So Mike, if you would, come on over here and let's demonstrate a few straight punches. Start with a left jab and a straight right and that sort of thing, and make sure, there you go, an uppercut on when it's coming back at you. Don't be throwing no hooks at it. There you go, uppercut and back over the top. All right, now make it move laterally and start it with a wide right to the body. All right, and then 4 punches. All right, now throw the wide right to the body and then 4. Now the left hook to the body with 4 punches. There you go. Now go ahead and work it for a few minutes so they can get an idea as to what you're doing here. Now you'll note that he keeps his bag in front of him at all times. Now if he wants to move around the bag and set something up, he can do so. He can make that bag move in any direction he wants to. And that's the idea. There you go. Right there. Okay? So basically, that's how you want to hit a heavy bag. If you're going to hit it, you ain't going to just get up here and tie on your boxing gloves and start hitting this bag. And if it goes over here, you follow it over there. And if it goes over there, you follow it over there. You work the bag. You make the bag go where you want it to go, and you set up your punches just like you would if you were boxing. So it's real important. It's real important that you do it this way. That's working off the same techniques that you learned on tape 1. You're learning to throw straight punches, straight jabs and straight right hands. You're learning to throw cutoff punches followed by combinations. You learn that on tape 1. So here on tape 2, we're putting it to work out here on this heavy bag. So let's do one other thing, Mike. Let's get in your stance and your rhythm. All right, now all I want you to do is throw your left jab. Okay, there you go. There you go. There you go. All right, good. Throw 3 left jabs and then end it with the right hand. There's 1, 2, 3, boom. That's the same thing. That's the same thing exactly that we were doing in tape 1 in the fundamentals. You notice he's moving laterally. When the bag moves laterally, he's moving his feet both ways and keeping the bag in front of him. So that's how you hit a heavy bag. And if you can't do it this way, then you need more work on it so that you can. And learning to hit this heavy bag, you always learn these bags, and you get yourself in shape, and then you start boxing. You don't want to just learn some technique and go try it. This is the way to get yourself in shape before you try it. So that's the heavy bag, and I think now we're going to move on to the jump rope so that I can show you how to jump rope step by step. So as you see these professional boxers jumping rope, and you say, wow, how in the world do they do that? Well, that's not hard. That's very easy. But it takes time and patience, and it takes repetitions, okay? You can learn to jump a rope really good in 1 week. Did you know that? In 1 week. Okay, so we're going to move on to that next. All right, for those of you out there who want to learn to jump rope, what we're going to do here now is we're going to do a systematic way of jumping rope. We're going to show you one step at a time so that you can learn. Now the idea here is, in doing this the way we're doing it, is for you to learn a rhythm or to get a rhythm so that it becomes easy for you. Okay, now we start our little kids out the same way as we start some grown-up that would come in and want to learn to jump rope. What we do in order to make it easy is we get the individual with both feet together and get him to learn to jump 1, 2, 3, get up to 5. Now when they get up to 5, then we can go on to something else. But we want them to be able to do that 5 times in a rhythm, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't. If they miss somewhere in there, we won't let them go on to anything else. So when they get so that they can do 5, we go on to something else. But right now, Mike, let's see you do that 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. You want to try. By the way, it's hard for him to jump this slow, so he's used to doing a lot of jump rope, and as we'll show you later on why this is hard for him to do. But the way you learn is to learn to do that 5 times. Okay, now once you've got 5 times down pretty good, or maybe 10 or wherever you want to start, the next thing to do is to change over. You'll be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you change over on your 6th one, and you go 5 times on your left foot. All right, now Mike, try that. Do 5 on both feet, and then change over to your left foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now change over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop. Okay, so he's doing this really fast, and it's a lot faster than what you'll do it. But basically, what he's doing, he's jumping 5 times this way, 5 times this way, and 5 times that way. Now what that's requiring him to do is to be able to change in the middle of a jump. Now that will come hard to you for a while, but I'd say in a week's time, you should be able to jump 5 times this way, 5 times this way, and 5 times that way. Now you're saying that that's not a great achievement, but it really is. Because if you just took a jump rope and wanted to try to jump rope the way he's going to be doing in a few minutes, it would take you a year if you're just trying to copy him. I'm going to show you how to learn to jump rope in about 2 weeks. So the idea is 5 times this way, 5 times this way, and 5 times this way. Then we'd start cutting down. Now what I mean by cutting down, he'll jump 4 times this way, 4 times this way, and 4 times this way. And then he'll go 3 times this way, 3 times this way, and 3 times this way, and then 2, and then 1. All the way down to 1. So Mike, let's see if you can do that. Just take it straight through. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. See if you can do that. I'm not sure he can do it because he's having to do it slow. All right, stop. Now that was pretty good. That was pretty good for this old guy. I couldn't believe he could do that. That's good. But basically doing it that slow is hard for him because he has developed a quicker rhythm. Now he needs a quicker rhythm for as light a weight as he fights. He's a flyweight, so naturally he wants to do this a lot quicker. But that's not to say that you have to do it quick. What you do is you learn to do it real slow and systematically cut it down to 1 on each way. Now, Mike, what I want you to do now is I want you to get your feet a little bit further apart, just as though you were boxing, and then I just want you to jump straight up and down this way. Okay? Now, the idea here is he's a right-handed boxer, so he wants to keep his left foot out front, just like a right-handed boxer, and he wants to go up and down like that. Okay, now stop. All right? Now, the idea here is once you learn to jump rope like this, and cutting it down each way, and you get so that you can jump rope like this, the ideal thing to do is learn to get into your rhythm just back and forth like this, jumping rope. Now, you're jumping rope for boxing. You're not jumping rope for showing off. So you're going to stay in this rhythm, left foot, right foot, right foot, so as that you learn to stay in that rhythm so that you can box out of that rhythm. You learn to move right that way. You need to learn to move left that way. You learn to move forward that way and back that way in this rhythm right here. Now, when you get that, then you're on your way because all this other stuff here, you can break that down any way you want to. Now, Mike, what I'd like to do with you right now is you give me about a 30-second exhibition of the many different ways you jump rope, including your jumps, okay? Let me get back out of the way here. That's the rhythm. 1 foot. Yeah, that looks good. Now you're talking. Do your jumps. Do your jumps. There we go. There we go. All right, stop. That's good. Now, as you can see, what that is, it's a systematic thing, and it looks real complicated when he's doing it all at one time, but basically what it is a thing of starting with one thing and just it's sort of like a domino theory, you know. So I think if you can't learn it this way, you're not going to learn to jump rope because this is the simplest possible way to learn. And guess what? Even you can learn to jump rope. I'm standing here beside what we call a double end bag or a focus bag or a crazy bag. We like to call them crazy bags, but actually, the real name for these bags are double end bags. They used to be oblong, but nowadays they're round. And the reason they're round is so you can throw uppercuts at them now, which I don't like our boxers to do. They were made to throw straight punches at. They were made to teach rhythm between your hands and your feet. And a lot of people today are taking this bag and stretching it so tight that it just barely moves when you hit it. It just goes like this, and you can close your eyes and hit it. But we like it so that it moves about the speed of a guy's head that's trying to slip punches, so that learning to hit this is like learning to hit a guy who's trying to get away from the punches. But basically, this is designed so that when you get in your rhythm and rocking motion back and forth, and every time you come down on your left foot or throw straight punches at this bag, you'll hit it as long as you are stepping to the center with your left foot. I don't even have to look at the bag in order to hit it. I can look anywhere I want to as long as my left foot goes to the center. All right. And another thing, too, is if you get ready to throw a right hand, it's the same thing. You still have to step to the center with your left foot and drive with your right hand, or you're not going to hit it 99% of the time. But basically, this is designed so that you can go around the bag with your left jab and then end with your right hand, go around the bag to your right with the left jab, and end with your right hand. Now, in doing that, you get a real good rhythm, you get a real good timing, and you're getting a real good fluid motion. Now, that's not to say that you can't throw an uppercut at it. You can. You can throw a right uppercut at it. You can throw a left uppercut at it. But in learning to hit a double end bag, you want to throw your jab moving to your right, jab moving to your left, maybe 4 times to your right and then a right hand, 4 times to your left and then a right hand, and always stepping toward the center. So Mike, let me bring you over here and see if we can do this. I want you to just get first in your stance, in your rhythm, and then get on your left jab. There you go. 2, 3, 4, and then your right hand. There you go. Now go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, then your right hand. Now that is exactly right. Now that looks so simple, but it's really not. This bag is moving all the time. But if you'll note, he's stepping with his left foot every time he jabs, and that keeps it right in front of him. He can't miss it. As long as his hand is on a straight line from his left foot as it comes down, he'll hit it. All right, now Mike, I tell you what I want you to do. I want you to go around it to the left some, go around it to the right some, and put a right hand behind it every once in a while. There you go. You notice how he's keeping it in front of him? You notice he hasn't missed yet because all he's doing is making sure he steps right toward it. Okay? All right, now let's see you explode on it a few times. You know, just throw a combination of punches. Work your jab some and then throw a combination of punches behind it, okay? All right, get back in here. There you go. There you go. Now you notice how fluid that is and how he stays in motion all the time. He's not getting set and getting flat-footed and waiting for the bag to come back at him. He's lining the bag up with his left jab and staying in his rhythm. Now watch him step toward the bag. Okay, that's good. All right, stop. So as you can see, it looks very simple, but it's not. Now, like I say, you can throw uppercuts at it. You can throw hooks at it. But it is designed to throw straight left jabs and straight right hands, and it is designed to move at the speed of a person's head slipping punches. It is not designed to be so tight it goes about this far and you can close your eyes and hit it. You know, that's no good. And so I think if you understand this, when you're hitting this double end bag, you'll get a lot more out of it because you'll learn that your timing and your rhythm are everything in throwing combinations. You're not going to be able to throw combinations getting flat-footed like this and waiting for that bag to come back and then trying to throw 4 punches at it. You stay in your rhythm, you stay in the flow of the bag just like you stay in the flow with your opponent. And this will help a whole lot. Mike, you got anything to add to that?
No.
Nothing at all? Huh?
Just make sure you step towards the center of the bag like you say.
Okay, so that's basically it. And once again, I want to remind you that anybody can learn to box, anybody can learn to do this. It's not that hard. Got to get yourself in a little bit of shape to do it, but I'm going to tell you something. Anybody can do it. Okay, here we are in this beautiful Texas weather, folks, here in Galena Park, Texas. I'm going to try to do the best I can to explain to you how we have our boxers do their road work. I think road work is super, super important to the fighter. That's not to say that it's the most important thing that he does. As a matter of fact, a lot of coaches have their guys run too much. I mean, a boxer's legs only last him so long as does any other physical part of him. You know, you can only do so much with the body you have. And I think a lot of guys leave a lot of their fight on the road. So, you know, I'm real careful to not run too much. We have a 30-minute limit on running no matter what. It's what you do during that 30 minutes that makes the difference in what kind of fight or what kind of condition you're in along with your gym workout. So we try a lot to bring the gym out here to the road with us. Now, what I mean by that is what they call interval running or sprints. You know, we're not going to run sprints one day and we're going to run distance the next day. We're not going to run 10 miles. We're not even going to run 6 miles. Matter of fact, 30 minutes is as long as we're ever going to run. You know, that because you're going to fight 30 minutes. Or you're going to fight, I think 42 minutes, 43 minutes, something like that. And you're not going to fight longer than that. So it's sort of stupid to get out there and run longer than that. You don't want to wear your body out. What you want to do is run according to the type of fight you're going to have to fight. If you're going to fight a guy that is going to be stuck in your chest for 10 to 12 rounds, you know, you're going to run differently than if you're going to run. Then you're going to fight a guy that is going to let you set the pace, and he's basically a boxer, you know. So, you know, you run differently for each fight. But more importantly than anything is when you run, again, you bring the gym to the road with you. Now, Mike, come over here for a second. I want to show you what I'm talking about. Like, you notice in the gym, we do a lot of head movement from the left to the right. We do a lot of bending the leg as you go across, the left leg and the right leg. That's basically what moves your body across, okay? We do a lot of backing up when you're boxing. You probably, most boxer types do more backing up than they do coming forward, and it's not a natural thing to back up for a human being. I mean, you don't walk backwards every day of your life. So, you know, you need to develop the muscles back here that enable you to go backwards. So we do a lot of backwards road work. We do a lot of during a 30-minute time period. We do intervals. We do relaxed type running. We do shifting of your weight from your left foot to your right foot. We throw our punches and get in our different types of rhythms as we're boxing. I mean, as we're running. So all of this is put together in a 30-minute period. Okay, like I say, we'll run more sprint type stuff if you're going to be fighting a guy that's going to be stuck right in your face every second. You're going to throw more punches also if a guy's stuck in your face every second. But we're not preparing for a track meet. We're not getting ready to run a marathon. We're getting ready to box. So it's real important that we keep this in mind as we're doing road work. Now Mike, today he's wearing boxing shoes out here. Normally he does not wear boxing shoes when he does road work. He normally wears tennis shoes. But for the sake of doing this for you, we come straight from the gym out here, so he's wearing his boxing shoes. But Mike knows that when he gets ready to run, running should be a relaxation for him. It's not, you don't come out here and kill yourself. You put out your work in the gym. This out here is a mental thing. This running is a mental thing. Once you stretch your lungs as much as they're going to be stretched, and once you're able to set any kind of pace you want or whatever else, you could run forever. I mean, we all know that. I mean, holy cow, there's guys run 27 miles, you know. This guy is in as good a shape as any human being can be in because his lungs are stretched to their capacity. You know, they're not going to get no bigger, you know. His muscle texture and everything is just where we want it. He's not too bulky. He can get full extension on any of his punches. We're not looking to get this guy so much in shape as we do as reinforcing what we do in the gym. So basically that's how he's going to run. So Mike, if you would, what I want you to do is, number one, is, you know, as you're running, you know, you're gonna take off first. You're gonna show them how you normally start to run. You're gonna run, you know, you're gonna take off. He's gonna do his first 30 seconds in a hop skip type thing. Now the purpose in that, well, hold on, let me back up a little bit and say first he's gonna loosen up and shadow box for about 15 minutes. Show him how you move around shadow box. Throw your punches. He's going to move around, normally try to get some extension on his punches and get loose, get his muscles loose the way he wants to, just like he does for boxing. He's going to shadow box for maybe 10 to 12 minutes. He's going to do some 4-phase exercises. He'll go through his 4-phase exercises after he loosens up for 10 or 12 minutes. You know, he'll do several of those which stretch him a little bit, get his muscles warm and get him ready to go. All right, now when he starts to run, these hips right here are the first thing that he wants to shake loose. And the right way he's going to do that is he's going to, just like playing hopscotch, he's going to hopscotch for 30 seconds as he takes off. Get out here and come back toward us in a hopscotch situation, Mike. All right, turn and face us. All right, now this is how he's going to start running right here. Come on. There you go. He's going to run 30 seconds like that before he ever does anything else. He's going to, you understand what I'm saying? He's not going to get out there and take off running. He's going to try to shake his hips loose. He's done loosened up the rest of his body. So he'll run the first 30 seconds like that. And then about the next 10 minutes, he's just going to run at a slow, normal pace. Just jog at a slow, normal pace out there and jog back, Mike. That's a slow, normal pace. That's what he's going to do. Come on back. That's perfect, okay? Just like that. He's going to run about 10 minutes like that. All right, after 10 minutes of that, his body is going to be good and loose. He's going to be breaking a little bit of a sweat. And then what he's going to do is he's going to do some zigzags for about 1.5 to 2 minutes. Go zigzag back and forth. He'll zigzag left, get a body lean, and then he'll zigzag right. If you can see that. He's going to, all right, come on back. Zigzag each way. He'll run. There you go. Run a few minutes like that. And then he'll turn around and he'll run straight backwards. Run straight backwards, Mike. Straight out there and straight back. There you go. You keep your chin down. Do your side-to-side stuff. Break down on your left leg. Break down your right leg just like you would boxing. You're backing up. All right, come on. Take your head across each time. There you go. Okay. All right, that's good. And maybe after you know, a minute or two of that or whatever, he's probably run up to right now about 15 minutes, and now he'll start running some intervals. He'll run like 30 yards at a hard speed with his chin down as hard as he can. Take off, Mike, and then do it back. Come on, let's go. Push it. Push it. All right, come on back. Ready? Push. All right, there you go. Now he might run maybe 5 intervals of 30 yards like that. So now you got to figure he's probably down to 5 to 7 minutes. All right? And then the next thing he's going to do for the next 5 minutes is he's going to break down and shoot his left hook, break down, throw his right hand, break down, throw his combinations. Go out there and come back toward us throwing your combinations, Mike. All right, now if you'll notice his left leg will stay in front of his right leg. Now come on to me, let's go. Break down, take your head across, throw your punches. There you go, there you go, there you go. Turn around backwards now. Do the same thing going backwards. Come on. There you go, there you go, there you go. Now you're talking. Now he'll do that 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, now that brings us down to about 28 minutes of road work. Now don't forget, all during this time, this guy has been working. He ain't just been out there running, but he's doing it in a relaxed situation. He's doing it as though he was boxing. He's using the same moves out here he's using in the gym. And he's had 30 minutes to stretch his lungs. His legs are feeling good. His wind's good and everything else. And now what he's going to do about that last 2 minutes is he's going to start a steady pace, and he's going to build as he goes to about the last 30 seconds, and he'll be kicking as hard as he can the last 30 seconds. So I tell you what you do, Mike. You go all the way out there to those stands, and you start off slow and gain your speed like you normally do when you do your road work. By the time you hit that gravel there, you ought to be running. All right, now so while he's doing this, while he's getting out there, the importance of this is that this guy has actually enjoyed himself running. He has actually worked on things that he needed to work on, and he's learning. He's bringing the gym out here with him. So now here we go. Now he'll come back. He'll start off as slow. He's picking it up. Here he comes. Now he's picking it up faster and faster. Basically, he does this for 2 minutes. No, now he's kicking. Now he's kicking. Now he's kicking. There it is, right there. Okay, good. So now that's the way we do our road work. We're going to do 30 minutes. 30 minutes. And there is not one part of his body hardly that he has not worked. He's worked his loosening up exercises, his muscles. He's done his 4-phase exercises. He's done his side to side, moving his head from his left foot to his right foot. He's done his backing up. He's worked the back parts of his legs. He's done his interval sprinting, and then he finishes off in a steady building of his pace all the way in the final kick. So now that is 30 minutes of running. Now if this guy is doing what he is supposed to be doing in the gym, and he is working his heavy bag, his double end bag, his speed bag, his jump rope, his sparring, and his coordination on the line, I mean, you know how many, I mean, you're talking about possibly 2.5 hours workout a day, counting his road work, that this guy does. And his rest is super important. He's got to rest. He's got to eat right. I don't want him out running 5 and 10 and 15 miles like a dadgum marathon runner. It don't even make sense to do that. Why in the world would he do it? So you guys out there that have your guys running all these miles just to show how tough they are, you're showing how stupid you are. You're not showing nothing but how stupid you are. You don't need them running that far. That's nonsense. So get them to doing their 30 minutes. I mean, a 10-round fight is 30 minutes. Now, I'm not saying that you can't do 40 minutes, depending upon how long you're going to fight. But take that 30-minute time frame, decide what kind of fighter you're going to be fighting, and make your fighter run accordingly in that 30-minute time frame, because this guy's career will last a whole lot longer. You won't burn him out here on the road trying to prove to everybody how tough your fighter is, that he can run 27 miles a day. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's basically what road work for boxing is all about. I've seen guys actually come out and take a tennis ball and just, pitch it back and forth from one hand to the other as they're running, and shadow boxing and things like that, just relaxing, taking some music with them. Hey, running is not supposed to be hard for a boxer. Running is something to stretch your lungs, get your body going. An old guy once told me, his name's Shifty Dando, once told me, he says, son, you got to have pep, vim, and vitality. He says, you give me a kid that runs up these stairs, was upstairs at the time, runs up these stairs every day with a lot of pep, vim, and vitality. I know he's got his rest that day. I know he ain't out chasing women and everything, and I know that he's fresh. He says, that's what you got to have. You got to have that freshness. Well, you take this guy and let him run 10 miles this morning, and then have him come to the gym at 12 noon and work out in a hot gym, and then later on that evening have him come back in and do anything in the gym. I mean, this guy, inside of 3 years, will be nothing. He'll be like a shell of a fighter, okay? So you spread it out, you get the rest, you get the right kind of road work. You ain't trying to run no races. You're not trying to beat nobody. So this is the way you do road work for boxing, and even you can do it, even you, because anybody can learn to box, believe me. We're going to start by explaining to you first what range is. When somebody's got good range or bad range, let me explain first what bad range is. Get in your stance, Mike. Say, Mike and myself are fighting. Okay, now, bad range is that I feel like I want to get up. This is my reach right here. This is how far I can reach. I want to get this close before I start punching at him. Okay, see here? That's how close I want to get if I've got bad range. Now, what is causing this is naturally I'm thinking in the sense that my arms are only this long, and I'm watching him, and when he gets close enough that I think I can punch, you know, I'm going to try to hit him with it. But see, this is not where you initiate your punches from. What you do is you get in this position right here, as such. Get your hands up, Mike. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one step out with my right leg and one step out with my left leg. Now this is where I really want to initiate my punches from. This is the range in which I want to box. Now the reason for this is because, get in your stance again, Mike, okay? Now you say, well, you can't reach him from here. Well, I can. As a matter of fact, without moving my right foot, and that's my push foot, without moving my right foot, I can actually punch through him to the other side of his head. I can hit him with a right uppercut from this range right here, or a left uppercut from this range right here. I don't have to get up to here before I punch. And the reason I don't is because by doing this here, I mean, all I have to do is step to make contact. Now, if he and I are boxing, and we're both in our rhythm boxing, and he's going to try to get this close to me before he punches each time, he's going to be in deep trouble. He's going to be in deep trouble because I'm going to initiate everything I do from out here. And that's why you see little short guys able to jab tall guys, and you say, how in the world are they able to do this? They don't have as much reach as the other guy. Well, that's how, because they know exactly where to initiate their punches from in order to get them a maximum amount of distance and range between them and the other guy. And this also has to do with your power. If I'm this close, if I have to jab or throw my punches from this close, a lot of times I'm going to smother my punches because more than likely he's making an advancement too when I punch, so therefore I'm smothering a lot of things, okay? Whereas from out here, when I initiate my punches, you know, I'm going to get maximum leverage because I'm going to hit him on the end of everything. That's not to say that you can't punch hard inside. Of course you can punch hard inside, but you have to really shorten up. And we're going to be getting to that in a minute on the infighting portion of this clinic. But I probably need to explain to you that a punch that is landing right on the end is a lot harder than a punch that's landing this close up. So therefore, you know, by initiating your punches from so close up with the other guy coming to you, you're going to smother a lot of it and you're not going to punch as hard. So naturally you want to learn to initiate your punches from the furthest distance away. As a matter of fact, a wise old man once told me, Mr. Hugh Benbow, who's 89 years old, he once told me, he says, son, the sign of a good fighter is a guy that can initiate his punches from the furthest distance away, maximizing his leverage and not getting hit. And that is exactly right. If you can punch from the furthest distance away, getting maximum leverage without getting hit, that is what you need to be doing. And that's the purpose in teaching range. So range, the end of the range end of this is in one thought, and that is that if you stand with your hand up against the opponent's face, you take your right foot out and your left foot out the same distance, and that's where you punch from. That is how you establish good range. Okay, another thing, and I think I reminded y'all of this in an earlier segment or an earlier tape, that being eye level is super important. It is super important in infighting and fighting on the outside and making your approach to the other guy and pulling away from the other guy. It is super important that you remain eye level or lower. It'd be better if you could get under the guy, but at least eye level at all times. You never want to be up here looking down at the other guy, because if you're looking down at him, he's got his legs bent and has the use of his legs punching upward, and I got my legs straight punching downward, and I'm losing leverage and he's gaining leverage through the use of his legs. So the idea, anytime you see a fight on TV or somebody or something, and somebody says, you know, get eye level, you need to get eye level, you need to get eye level, that's what they mean by that. They're losing their leverage. Okay, so that's pretty much what I needed to show you on range. Range is super important, super important. So now I'm going to go to the infighting segment of this, and in doing so, you want to remember, if you've ever seen two pit bulldog puppies wrestle around with each other, you'd know that one will walk over and lay on the other like this and just relax, and then the other will lay on him, and then they'll just sort of fall around. They're not actually getting up against each other and bracing and pushing and all that. Well, it's the same thing with two boxers. If I'm going to lean on him, lean toward me, Mike. If I'm going to lean on him, it's in a relaxed fashion. And if I'm going to push on him, it's going to be in a bump type fashion. It ain't going to be using my legs and pushing real hard with my legs. What it's going to be is it's going to be a bump type fashion. I want to bump him up so that I've got an advantage with my legs and so that I can see his lower body. If I want to get rid of him, if I want to turn him any which way on these pivots, I want to take my head here. I want to be eye level with his elbow, because that's what I'm going to grab. I want to be outside of it. I'm going to look at that elbow, and I'm going to take that elbow right here, and I'm going to pivot on my left foot. Watch this, just like this, and I'm going to shove him. Same way here on the other side. Let's get over here on this other side. If I'm going to go to this side, I'll get eye level with this. I'll get that right here behind his elbow. I can do it with one finger. It don't take strength. Just take one finger like this and pull my right leg around and push at the same time, and he's gone. If I want to go shoulder to shoulder with him on his right side, and I want to shoot a left hook to the body, and I'm planning on just shooting one hard shot, I'll take and turn my heel out and shoot real hard and pull my head back toward his, this way with my head down, because he's going to get butted if he comes in at eye level with me, just like this. That's where I want it. If I want to double that up, and he's here, by doubling up, I mean going back over the top, I'll shoot this in here, but I won't turn my heel on the first one. I'll shoot this one. It's as a decoy. And the second one, I'll turn my heel over and come across. This is to decoy him. This is to punch with maximum leverage. If you're going to tie a guy up inside, if I want to tie up, for instance, say he and I, get back around here, Mike. He and I are both right-handed. We go shoulder to shoulder, and he gives me that arm. He's in trouble, because I'm going to take it just like this, and I'm going to tie it up right here. If I want to get rid of him, I can take this and shove it inside and make a pivot over and get rid of him. If I want to try to bump him with my shoulder, I can take this right here, take a step out with my right foot, and then ram my left shoulder into his face, just like this. I'll pull and then jerk up. I'm sorry about that. Same thing on the other side, is if I go shoulder to shoulder here, and I can't get this arm right here, if I can't get over here on this side here. If I go shoulder to shoulder here and I can't get hold of that arm right there, I'm not going to try to reach and grab or anything like that. What I'm going to do right here is I'm going to go ahead and turn him, and then I'm going to come back in with my right shoulder. Okay? Because either way, he's going to be turning back toward me. These are little simple things you can do inside to nullify another guy's power and not to use so much energy. If I jab at him and he goes under this jab, I'm going to push him down all the way to the floor, and I'm going to take my right foot out just like this. I'm going to go all the way down, and I'm going to just keep taking my right foot out until he's on the canvas if I have to. All right, now if I decide that I want to throw a left jab at him, what I'm going to do is, if I decide I want to get rid of him, if he slips the jab right here, I'm going to take a pivot to my right and shove him that way. If I throw the jab on this side and he pivots, he slips, I'm going to turn him this way. But either way, I'm going to get rid of him. So I'm getting rid of him. I'm getting rid of him straight in by going down. I'm getting rid of him this way by pivoting and turning here. And I'm getting rid of him this way by pivoting and turning this way. But in all cases, whichever hand I'm pushing with, I'm keeping my right thumb on my chin. And that's super important, because if I get rid of him this way and he makes a pivot at the same time and throws a left hook, I want to be able to catch it. Same way as if I throw a pivot if he goes the other way and he throws a left hook, I'm going to catch it. So either way, I've got him. But this nullifies any power or any thrust he has by getting under me or by slipping my jab. So that is super important. Okay, another thing we want to work on a lot is, if you're going to be fighting inside, is getting in position to punch. Now, like if he and I are together shoulder to shoulder with our left hand, I want my right hand inside right here. And the reason I want that is because I don't have to arm punch in order to hit him. All I have to do is, if we're shoulder to shoulder right here, is turn my right heel out and my left hand upward like this. And it will lift his head straight up. It is not an arm punch. I don't have to do this or nothing else. All I got to do is lay my right hand inside and turn my heel out, and I've got him. Same thing on the other side. If I'm shoulder to shoulder right here and I can get this hand inside, all I got to do is turn that left heel out and I can catch him here. But it's real important that if I throw the right uppercut, to get my chin behind my shoulder and keep my left hand in position. All right, if I'm going to throw my left uppercut, I want to keep my right hand right here and my thumb on my chin, so that when I do throw it, that my chin goes behind my shoulder here. Okay, that's real important. Hand position, same thing on the other side. You want your hand position to be good. You don't want to just throw these punches and not have your hands so that you're in a position to punch again. So basically that's it on infighting. Let's go through this one more time. If you're going to throw a jab at a guy who's going to slip the jab on this side, the idea is to pivot to your right and shove him the same direction he's going. If he's going to slip it inside, you pivot to your left and shove him the same direction he's going. If he goes under, you shove him downward. Okay? If you're going to grab his right arm, his left arm inside, and you want to take it out, you can take out to your right foot and back up with your shoulder. And it's the same way on this side. If you want to tie this up, you can take him out and bump with this shoulder, or you can do a turn on him and bump him with your right shoulder. Either way, you get him. So the way to tie somebody up on the inside, if you just want to tie him up, you can tie up his left arm and put your right hand right in there, right in that joint right there. And no matter how much he wrestles, I don't even have to be strong. I can take his just turn around this way. I can take his left elbow right here and put my hand right behind it right here and push this hand out like this. And no matter how much he wrestles, I don't have to wrestle with him. I just put a little bit of pressure on there and he can't get loose. Try to pull out, Mike. See, try to come forward, Mike. See, he can't do either. If he tries to turn, try to turn back toward the audience. I just turn with him. Turn the other way. I just turn with him. If I want to tie him up, I can tie him up all day long, and I can work him with his shoulder all day long. So it's real important to learn these things in infighting, because there's going to be times that you have to tie people up, and there's going to be times that you have to work them to a position in order to hit them. So hopefully this will help a whole lot. I hope you enjoyed today's segment of You Can Learn to Box. I think I need to point out to you, though, that these particular techniques take many repetitions. You've heard the old saying, repetition makes for perfection. Well, that is exactly right. If you do these things over and over again, and you roll your tape back and go through it 2 or 3 times so that you understand it completely and do many repetitions of it, you will become much better. In order to teach boxing, this is for sure something that you need to do over and over again. So, I hope you learned something from today's segment, and I hope you learned, most importantly, that you can learn to box.